What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Queendom, the entertaining ramblings of a single millennial woman trying to figure out adulting. We talk about life, love, sex, and just about everything in between. What's popping? What's good? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode, baby. We got some tea for you today, okay? But I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves first, and then we'll get into what the topic of the day is. Our topic of the night is. So we have our regular Miss Nay Boogie.
Nay Boogie with the hoodie. What it do?
And our special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Aura Arts, formerly known as Nisi Peace. What's up?
And let me tell y'all a bit about Miss Aura Art real quick before we get into the topic. I met this beauty years ago in Orlando, and she was being a body paint model. And I was just telling her that when she came into the room, like she just stood out. She was so like, she just had a brightness about her. And one thing I've loved about her is that she has been an unapologetically herself and genuine and true to who she is and her happiness in life. And I love that about her because at the end of the day, I feel like we need to stop trying so hard to, please everyone else. Let's make sure we're happy, because more happy people, guess what you don't have to deal with? A whole bunch of drama and bullshit. You feel me? So if more people were happy, I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and jump into the topic. So the topic at hand, as a broad general subject, is about different ways to make money in the sex industry. And I'm not talking about necessarily just out there as the old school pimping and stuff like that most people try to fall into. But a lot of people, especially through the pandemic, have found the wave of like OnlyFans, starting their own pages, not just, sticking to like the old school sites of Pornhub and RedTube and like all that kind of stuff, but really building a name for themselves out here and taking ownership of their pleasure, especially a lot of women, because I don't necessarily see it as a negative thing. It's not my cup of tea, but that's me and my comfortability with stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. But I do see it as something that can be very empowering for a lot of people because they're taking ownership of their bodies and their sex lives and all of that kind of stuff, and they share it how they want to. Now, I do remember you were popping on OnlyFans for a good little minute. Can you tell us about that experience that you had with OnlyFans?
Absolutely. So it's kind of funny, actually. I started my OnlyFans before COVID. I just didn't really use it for a very long time. It was maybe had about 5 fans at the time, people who like had followed me on Instagram. So I started sex work via Instagram. And like they were just, interested. So I needed a place to like just send, these regulars some stuff here and there. So that's what I started OnlyFans for. Then and then like right at the pandemic, I was working as a hostess at a restaurant, obviously, stopped working there. And I was just like, you know what? Like, let me just like open myself up to this world and like see what it's about. Like I have made a lot of erotic art, and I do make a lot of erotic art. So I was like, I have this repertoire of like, content that nobody has ever seen. Let me just like, load it up and see how it goes. It did pop off very quickly, and it was a very solid and like rounded source of income throughout the pandemic and then some, honestly. And yeah, it's a great experience.
And let me tell y'all, now I did not join the OnlyFans, but I have followed her on Instagram, as well as I believe I follow you on Twitter as well. And let me just tell you, she already takes some amazing pictures. Now, baby is 100% comfortable with her body, and baby, what you can't tell her is that she ain't formed. Okay. Because she is. Period. You hear me? Period. Okay, y'all, once y'all see the YouTube video, y'all understand. Don't worry about it, Radio Land. But she takes amazing your Zodiac shirts. I absolutely loved. She posed for these pictures in the nude, and they were all representative of the Zodiac signs, and they were amazing. And just, it was very much a free spirit, bitch, this is me shirt. I loved it. They were so amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Are you still selling them shirts, by the way?
Actually, I'm planning a relaunch. So honestly, getting pregnant and having a baby just kind of put a lot of things on hold. But I definitely, still have the collection. I am very connected to the collection, and I want to do a relaunch for Queendomme Ep16, which is in August. And I'll be like there and vending. You guys should definitely check it out. I'll send you some information.
Yes,
but
send me the info.
a big event here in Atlanta, and it's super dope.
Listen, I'm already supposed to be in Atlanta for summer August. Let me find out these dates overlap. Come on now. Girl, it ain't nothing but a drive up 75.
I can be in Atlanta in August.
Okay.
I'm working there. I could be in Atlanta in August,
Oh yeah, we can make that happen.
I can make that happen.
So OnlyFans was really popping for you. I know at one point, if I'm not mistaken, you actually sold like used underwear and things of that sort. Can you talk about like how did you get to that point? How did you cultivate your audience? Because I think that's what a lot of people try to figure out as they hear about these alternative ways to make some extra money. Okay, cool. I go get a pedicure. I'll take a picture of my feet, but how I find somebody that want to purchase this stuff? You know what I mean? Like how did that even come about for you?
Yeah. So my experience did happen very organically, but I learned a lot along the journey. And so I do feel like I'm in a space now where I can point people into that direction. I never took pictures of my feet. I've always just had a very like disconnected, like sexual, connection to my feet. So I never like got into that world, but throwing panties is definitely something that I did. Started sometime back in college with one of my sugar daddies, actually. And like he would just like hit me up for stuff like pictures or panties or like to take me out on a date. But it was never any like intercourse. So like our relationship was like very transactional, very like, here's $100, send me this picture like with you like this. So that is kind of how I got into that world. And it was kind of on and off for a while. So along my journey of like meeting sugar daddies, and like I would just put myself in like very sexually liberated spaces, and you'd be surprised who you find there. Through all of those experiences, I like kind of built up a clientele. But then once my Instagram kind of started like growing and building virtually, I was having people come to me that way. So I think content creation is a really great place to start. I know for a lot of feet models, they will create a page just for their feet. I even know OnlyFans creators who have two OnlyFans pages. One will be like their regular erotic art, and then another will just be a feet page, or like just be a niche page. So it's very interesting how you can like tap into the market like from different angles. So yeah, definitely content creation, and like there's actually websites that I used for a short period of time that like generate some money like on a really fast rate if you like dedicate your life to it. Websites are a great way to just find like random people scouring the internet. Now you do need to be like on the internet, in chat rooms, like on webcams regularly so that you can build up clientele. But during the pandemic, that was a really great way to make money. We were going outside anyway, so I might as well be in my room with all my lights on and my lingerie, like making some money.
Sure.
Big facts. Okay, so you mentioned being a sugar baby, and I know before we started recording, you reminded me that you considered yourself a professional sugar baby for a period of time. How did you get to that? Because baby, let me tell you something. Listen. My favorite thing to say is if I can find me a sugar daddy that don't want no sugar.
No sugar. Honey. I want a diabetic sugar daddy. I want a Splenda daddy. Like I don't want, like the way you just described, just transactional. Send me $100 for this. I'll do this for this. Without me having to have sex with them is what I would want. If you just want companionship, that's fine. Yeah. You want to hear me talk and read you a book at nighttime to tuck you in, no problem. I just don't want to bone you because you.
Yes.
You're nasty. So
it's actually funny that you say that because the sugar baby world is very broad. Like a lot of people just think sugar baby and they're like, oh, this girl has to fuck this old man to get money. Like that's just like the automatic sugar baby assumption. But it's just not the case realistically. A lot of men, I say this to so many people, a lot of men just want to like take you out, you know, like almost like an escort service. When I lived in Miami, this is where I started the whole sugar baby world. I worked in a lot of restaurants, so a lot of like corporate men were coming by for like lunch and dinners and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I got into the sugar baby world. But essentially, like you just have to be really real and forward with sugar daddies. The best way to find them is to go out. A lot of people want to just sit at home and try to look for their sugar daddy, like on these websites and stuff. That ain't it. You're going to get scammed. I always say like, dress to impress and go to a bar, you know, where like a lot of older, like, you know, like, well, what I look for corporate, like older corporate guys. I do like target my sugar daddies very specifically, but like I'm doing this for money anyway. So, but like there are different types of, you know, sugar daddies that you can find. So I would like set yourself up for that and then go and like engage with them. They really, really want like the like feminine energy and engagement. They want like to like be able to flirt with you, and like they want a woman who's like confident in who she is and is like able to like expand their experience, you know, just by her presence and her sexual energy. So I definitely tell people, you know, like plan to go out, you know, one night and like set an intention to give your number to a few different guys, you know, like you never know who you're going to like create that connection with and like establish the sugar baby relationship. Did I answer the question? I don't remember.
I feel like that did answer the question.
Okay.
Because and I'm happy you mentioned that point, because I think one of the things that became really, really popular, more specifically during the pandemic, was the fact that a lot of people were searching you know, all these different websites and apps and trying to find these relationships. And then it became a really big thing where people would slide in your DMs like, hey, I'm a sugar daddy, this, that, or another. And it would go from, oh, I sent you money to your Cash App, but did it go through? Oh, well, you need to send me this so I can send it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people got scammed, and just it's such a crazy thing. Now, I do question if when it starts coming to some of these avenues of making an extra income, if it's getting to the point, and if it's getting to the point where it's almost oversaturated. Now, I do hold true to the fact of, even in what you would consider an oversaturated market, at the end of the day, they don't have you. So if you bring something to the table that significantly sets you apart from someone else, then by all means, you will find your lane, you will find your people, and your business, and whatever it is that you're doing will flourish, right? But I guess because there are so many people who coming out trying to say, oh, they're such an expert in how to sell panties, how to sell feet pictures, how to be on OnlyFans, how to be a sugar baby, and all this other kind of stuff. And you're getting all this stuff thrown at you from left and right, because everybody wants the information and everybody wants to feel like they got all the information. But it's like, how do you filter through all of this? You know what I mean? Because you given some pretty good tips already. But for those who are just very probably overwhelmed with not only this information that you're providing here today, but also all the other information out there, like how can someone filter through that and find their lane in this world?
So I think the best advice that like I could give to someone maybe like just starting out in this world would be to like get offline. I think the biggest thing that worked for me is networking. I used to go to parties, I used to go to events, I used to like, you know, be out there. And I know like things are different, you know, since the pandemic. But now that things are starting to open up, if you want to like really make a difference or like make I guess a statement in the sex work industry, like people want to see you, you know, they want to see you, they want to experience you. Like you said, you know, when I walked into the room, I like had this light about me. I think that's what I noticed about a lot of sex workers. Like we're just very vibrant, and like we kind of own who we are, and like we'll like take over a space as soon as we walk in, and that's like our sexual energy just exuding from, you know, just our experience, and things like that. And I think it's also really great marketing, you know, to be out, to be like engaging people. What I like to do when I go out to drinks is like bounce around and talk to people, you know, make people feel like comfortable and make them feel like they're heard or seen. Like those are very big part. Like sexual energy has a lot to do with like the physical experience. And I think the overstimulation comes from being online. It comes from like we're no longer like really like connecting, and we're just kind of like you can make up a whole world about me. I've had clients just like literally create a fantasy world based off of my OnlyFans content, and it has nothing to do with who I truly am, you know? And so I think that's the wave that sex work can be at.
Okay. So now you've expanded. Do you still currently have your OnlyFans? Because I know you've expanded into a new venture or a new partnership with an amazing app, our website called Black Touch. And if I'm not mistaken, Black Touch, the best way I can explain what I've realized about what Black Touch is basically it is a Black space for Black sex workers to have Black basically porn. So it's like an all Black porn site. It's like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's actually kind of dope. And it's like you don't have to dig to find like really good content, and it's not cheesy content. It's very well made. In the snippets that I've seen are extremely beautiful. They really, really are. I mean, I know typically folk look at porn and they don't think beautiful, but it's the way they put it together. If y'all go follow their IG page, I'm telling you, y'all gonna think y'all finna get ready to watch just a regular movie, but you getting you know, the extra with it. So can you tell us about like how that came about and like how that's been going and everything?
Yeah, so Brian from Black Touch, freaking amazing, amazing, amazing person. Such a great vision. Literally like provides the whole experience in terms of production. He's just such a down to earth, such a like connected personality. It's really amazing. But he hit me up, and essentially like what he does, you're right, what he does is work with like sex workers. I think he is local in Atlanta, but does travel to different places to work with different talent. But essentially like connects with like local sex workers, people who like are like popular and like trending on the scene, and he'll do like different scenes with them, and like honestly creates this scene around like a whole specific like ambiance. So if he's working with certain people and like wants to create a certain story, like he does it based off of that specific talent. So it's like beautiful. Essentially, he like lets us help with the creative process, like with writing the scenes and like contributing to the script and all of that, even down to like he does a lot of work out of Airbnbs or just different like studios and stuff like that. So even like as far as like creation there and like where we're gonna shoot and how it's gonna look, like he does have a very, very strong vision of like community collaboration, and creating this very real, very relatable, very sexy erotica. And it's not porn. Like I am a member of the site, and I watch a lot of his content, and like I actually haven't watched porn in a very long time. So porn was a big part of my life. And then I got overstimulated by it when I started doing sex work. So I actually stopped watching porn and just was like sex working. And then like I started realizing like the difference between porn and erotica, and like just like the artistic like intention behind his work just really blows me away. Sometimes like I'll just be on the site just watching it, not even for any like sexual gratification at all.
And you know what? That's a good point to make, and I'm happy you said that. So I definitely correct myself, and it is more of erotica, because it does have a different level of class and taste to it. It truly does. And it's not that horrible, cheesy ass acting. Like y'all, like the clips
They
that I have
overdo
seen.
it. They overdo it a lot.
I swear to God. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is it your partner is the one who is actually in the scene with you, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was so dope. I was like, that's her. That's dope.
Yeah.
Like they got to do this together. I know y'all. I am listen.
Yeah,
okay,
it's really amazing. So sometimes I think Brian does do like mix and matches when like different talent will just come together, but also he has the door open to couples and to like people who like, you know, are like familiar with each other and like to create comfortable environments for all types of sex workers.
Mm-hmm.
I know me specifically, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I like don't consider myself a porn like creator. I consider myself an erotic art or like nude art creator because like all of my content involves my partner. And the only point of me creating content is because I really like, I have a kink for like being watched, you know?
You're an exhibitionist.
And so like the best way for me to be watched is to record videos, you know? So like I honestly only record content with my partner. I've never made any videos or content with anybody else, maybe past partners, but like it's always a very intimate like connection for me. I don't really like go out and just like meet people to
random people
with. Yeah, you know, which is, I'm not knocking it.
Right. But I think it's very important that you said that because I think people automatically put the stigma on sex work and make it seem like you're just out here fucking anything that moves, and it's not the case.
It's not.
Which is
it's almost never the case. Most sex workers that I know are just in their room like fucking themselves. Like
literally
not even out here.
Like, yeah. So, and I think that's one of the things why I was always so so willing and excited for you in the work that you were putting out, because never once did it seem like something that was sleazy or, you know, or kind of like, oh girl, that's what you doing. But you know what I mean? Because sometimes people tell you they doing stuff and it may be more so because of the person who's telling you and how they're telling you that they're doing things. And you be like, okay, but I mean, but it's the way you always presented it. And it was always so just, it was always tasteful. It really was. And like I'm telling y'all, if y'all go look at this video, because at first I was like, oh, this is so cute. They did a nice little movie.
That's one of my favorite was.
Listen. I was like, they did a movie. I was like, oh, let's go. I was like, what's this? I said, yes, come on, let's do it. So now that you're creating content on Black Touch, are you exclusively doing Black Touch? Do you still create the content for your OnlyFans? Like, how are you moving those parts around?
So yeah, I actually kind of am exclusively creating content with Black Touch. I don't work with them often, but I'm not exactly in the OnlyFans phase anymore. I deleted my OnlyFans maybe about a few months ago, and have just been like, honestly, just doing a lot of spirit work. It's been a lot of growth and change. So whenever Brian from Black Touch hits me up, like he did with that scene, I was like, it's a go. And we did talk about doing some future scenes. So I still definitely record me and my man, but
of course,
nice and safe on my phone.
Exactly. It's hey, you are
I
amongst
to my friends, though. I'm very grateful that I have a very open-minded group of friends that I can, share.
You are amongst. Listen.
Let me tell you how amongst friends you are. We literally had a whole episode where we talked about like the sexy pictures and the videos that we record, and we filter them through our group chat, through our nice little circle of friends. Like, hey sis, let me know how this look, because baby, you may miss something. I may be like, sis, you got a little piece of tissue right there. You don't want to send that to him. Don't say, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And listen, I actually wanted to start a thing to the only, and I had did one video as like an idea of what I wanted to do, and I sent it to them. Like, would you pay for this? If I could,
okay, period. Like, am I charging around the right amount for this?
You know what I mean? sorry. And maybe men don't do this, but baby, if there is a woman out there or a vagina owner or if you identify as a female, however you may identify, right? If you do not have a group chat to share your stuff with, so that you can get that green light, make sure that, God forbid that it accidentally gets leaked somewhere, but at least it's going to be some good shit that get leaked. You know what I'm saying?
I used to always tell people I want to get famous off my sex videos. I just want one of my exes to get so mad that they try to expose me.
And you be like, baby, but I look good. I look good. You know what I'm saying? You are amongst friends. Yes, we are 100% here for it. Listen, if you need somebody to record you, to watch your videos before you send them out to whomever, hit your girl up. I'm more than happy. So
no problem. Because I wanted to listen, because you can ask Irene. I have gone back and forth about this for a while. I wanted to do a fans of the only. I just didn't want to do the actual physical act of it and put it on camera. I was thinking more like a silhouette of it, and then I was going to do that, or I was just going to do audio mainly. But then I thought then I had shot a video. It was just like pretty much like the bottom of it was just the money shot, and that was it, with some smoke. And I'm like, I went back and forth, but every time I had an idea, I ran it by them. Like, would y'all pay for that? Is that a good idea?
And she did some good shit. I ain't gonna hold her. She had some good ideas. I'm like, bitch. I ain't gonna lie. I took the video idea. Okay, so shout out to Nate Boogie with the Hoodie, because for those of you all who follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you probably have seen a video of me reading from my novel, or my erotic novel that just got released on my birthday, June 13th. Shout out Vacation. Yeah. There was some videos that I did where I was reading the book, but it was fixated on my lips, and you saw some cleavage because your girl got some. And so it was very much it was definitely spurred, from Nay. I definitely got the idea from. I was like, Nay, I'm gonna use that. You cool with that?
And like, I told her, go right ahead, baby, because I don't know. The only very select few have seen my videos. So
right. And I'm like, I got the book. This is very befitting of how I should be reading the book.
And I said, go for it. And I said, as you should, and make sure your lips extra juicy-fied and moisturized.
Because baby, for those of you all who have not seen what I look like, I got some big ass soup coolers on my face.
I told her, go ahead, sis. I said, please go, feel free. And I said, if you need anybody else to read anything else, I'm here for you. I got you.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very brilliant idea, and apparently people actually really loved it. So hey, shout out to y'all. And if y'all want some future content like that, just stay tuned. I got something coming for you. But but it won't be on TikTok or Instagram. You're gonna have to pay for this.
You pay for that.
You paying for this. You're gonna be paying for these next
I will. I will, if I get the right kind of setup for it. I could still do them smoking videos. Like I felt like it was I just need to know how to market myself. I just have to get the market together.
We can do the marketing, baby. You see that motherfucker back there?
I got you.
We can market.
This is interesting. I love it. And I thought about selling my underwear too. I've seen a lot of videos
I had to wear
about that. TikTok been TikToking. My For You page has definitely been for me these last few days. And I've seen a lot of about the selling of the underwear. Have you ever used the website for it? Like one of like Sniffer or
did I use Sniffer? I think I actually used Sniffer. I was honestly just on that bitch all day, every day. Like that's really what it was.
It's the consistency.
But like, see, what I think with websites, it's a good idea to create a goal. So like, I would never get attached to something like panty selling, like with a long-term intention.
Oh,
but like, if I needed like $500 in 7 days, all right, I'm gonna be on this website all day, every day, like making my money, instead of like me just like becoming a slave to the sex work. I think at that point it starts to desensitize you. But yeah, I think using it as like an emergency cash kind of situation would probably help you to like see like more success. I think a lot of people get caught up in the long term, and then they like create certain expectations, and sex work takes a lot of work to really pop off. Like it really does take a lot of work. Like I was building my Instagram page for like 2 years before I even started my OnlyFans. So I think that helped a lot with the rapid growth that I experienced. But it was just me like, you know, making content all the time, messaging people all the time. Okay. It's a very like intimate, you know, world. So you want to make sure you're talking to your clients and you're like listening to their ideas for content and delivering on those ideas. And that's what like brings them back. And that's what like helps to create a cycle of success, which can be very intimidating, but you can do it.
So I feel like I can.
So I know, you know, like I told you before we started recording, it was kind of crazy. I was on live on TikTok one day and, you know, somebody mentioned purchasing some feet pictures. I was like, man, if you serious, hit my Cash App right now. So they sent me $5. So I sent them a picture of a big toe. I was like, if you want the rest of the picture, you're going to have to send me 15. So they sent me the 15. So I sent them the whole picture. And then I think they sent me like another $10 or $15. And I sent them another picture. And then they wanted a very specific, like 1 minute video. And I was like, bro, you want me to make a specific 1 minute video? Like you finna pay me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, you gonna have to pay me $50. He was like, well, I got some girls that'll do that for like 10.
And get it from them.
Well, maybe you had to. Okay. See, I thought maybe I was being too extra because I was like,
no.
First off, you want me to do something very specific for you, make a 1 minute video, and then no, my time is money. You like everything I do is with the purpose of a goal. So that means you got to pay me for my time.
Exactly. And you're, you know, wanting to experience a very vulnerable, very intimate side of me. So you have to pay for that. I think there's a lot of confusion and conflict in the sex world industry. And like, there is like this side of it that people don't really respect. So it's like, why should I have to pay for that? But this other side of it of like, why wouldn't you have to pay for it? You know what I mean? Like, what's like, right. This is the most vulnerable, intimate side of myself. And
right.
I'm just supposed to let you have that for free?
Right.
Like
the audacity of you, the unmitigated gall.
Audacity. Like
the nerve.
It's crazy how, but I think a lot of that has to do with the way, more particularly, not just that women are treated in society when it comes to sex. We're already deemed as objects or things a lot of times when it comes to sex, and how dare we have autonomy over our own body and want to take ownership of our sexuality and tax your ass if you want to be a part of it, because it ain't for you, motherfucker.
I mean, it's amazing to me how they don't think that we should want to be paid for it, but y'all have no problem screaming this dick ain't free because Kendrick Lamar said it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same exact thing.
Right.
You know, and I think there's something very beautiful about wanting to like pay someone to give you the things that that bring you pleasure. You know what I mean? Like sex work is literally you like going out and like getting that for yourself, taking ownership of your sexuality and deciding I want to experience this and this is how I'm gonna do it. Like sometimes that's what it takes.
Right.
And I think that's totally fine. I think it's a very valid, very like profitable, very real world to live in.
It really is, especially because, and granted, you know, in America, the way sex is just looked at is very, very different once you travel outside the country.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Most places outside of the U.S. are extremely sex forward and sex positive, and you'll see more nude shit walking down the street than you do anywhere. Yeah. And it's not like something that the kids have to be shunned away from because it's a very real thing. You know what I mean? It's a part of life, but everybody want to act like it's so non-existent and we're so like, oh my God, we're so conservative over here. No, y'all not. Y'all some nasty little freaks because y'all be going to all of the BDSM dungeons and to the parties and y'all be wanting to be bent over and spanked and dominate. I'm gonna stop telling y'all
It's
business.
not it's so funny because I always like my most conflicting client has always been like military personnel. Like I don't know why. I'm not saying that all military personnel are like this, but in my experience, I always have the most conflict with these clients. So anyone who I've been with, like as a client who was a part of the military, had such a conflict with like what I was doing, like on like on the outside world. So like it was very hidden for them. It was very like secret, and and it's like I don't understand how like you don't see like we're doing the same thing essentially. Like you are using your body to defend a country, and like that's how you're getting paid essentially, right? Like this is what pays your bills. This is what you do as a profession to pay your bills. And I've had this conversation with a few of them, but we never really come to a resolve. And I'm using my body just sexually, but I'm also receiving money for it. So we're both using our bodies for something. It's just like different. So I try to bring that like topic up to people a lot. Like it's a like this is a product or a service, when it comes to sex work. And I think that's okay. Like a lot of people just have this weird, like they have to shy away from it. They have to hide it. They have to be ashamed of it.
And
Right.
It's okay. Like
right. And I think a lot of people, and I think okay, so the reason I believe a lot of people do that, and this is just my experience with over 12 years of being a pure romance consultant and selling sex toys and talking to people and how they want to whisper, because baby, if I could tell you, listen, let me tell you, I was telling them on one of the other shows that I might mess around and that may be one of my next books, just giving y'all some of the tea on some of these parties. Of course, I'm gonna leave names and stuff out. But
okay,
some of
yeah.
the things that I've talked about with people, some of the things that they've shown, baby, I done seen more vaginas than probably your neighborhood friendly OBGYN. Okay. Because everybody tends to be extremely comfortable with me. Okay. Which is fine, but I'd be like, sis, you ain't gotta show it to me. I promise you don't. And it's so funny to me how people how y'all want to talk, y'all will talk crazy, y'all will say just about anything, but baby, when it come to people actually knowing that you got toys, that you like to record yourself, that you're into BDSM, that you're into all these different things that are deemed as weird, and Lord forbid if you are an African American, then that's really outside the realm, because no tea, no shade, let's go and call it a spade. People deem, oh, that's that white folk stuff, but baby, it's more people of color that are now being open and honest about these experiences that they want to have sexually. And baby, they so much happier. They not repressed. You know what I mean? But because society continues to make these things dirty and make it seem like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. Something must be wrong with you. Instead of just being like, well, that's your bedroom, baby. What you do in your bedroom don't give me no orgasm. So hey, how about that?
Amen.
Okay, period. Like
amen.
I'm like, if you boring, just say you boring.
My orgasms are
Listen.
not hanging in the balance, so I don't care what you got going
Listen,
on.
And I get to write my orgasms off on my taxes. So kiss my ass. How about that? Damn it. Sorry. I'm just saying,
So
like people turn their nose up, and I'm like, bruh, if some people would honestly just sit back, one, actually talk to someone who was, a sex worker of any of these genres, or even if you talk to somebody who has made a lucrative business from even just selling sex toys, and you actually had an open-minded conversation, not going in with a closed mind trying to figure out how you can rebuttal everything that they're about to say, you may come out of that learning some shit and finding some stuff out about yourself. Because one of my favorite things to do, especially when it comes to guys who call themselves wanting to pursue me, which, disclaimer, she's single and unavailable and they ain't looking, leave me alone. I love to be like, hey, do me a favor, go to bdsmtest.org and take the test for me. And I like to have them take the test for two reasons. One, the results kind of give me an insight on where you are sexually. Because a lot of people love to be like, nah, I'm a whole freak out here. And I'm like, so
don't know the meaning. And don't
baby.
know the meaning.
And
I think the word freak is even like a spectrum, but I think like what constitutes a freak is your ability to just be like transparent and vulnerable in your sexual desires. I think a lot of people have these like they think they're freaks because they like to fuck, but they're not necessarily willing to drop that like guard. It's very interesting.
Baby, because I swear to God, listen to me. If another motherfucker be like, yeah, I'm freaky, I like to eat ass, bitch, that's a Tuesday. What the fuck?
What else you got? I tell, and it'll be the simplest thing. I'm like, oh, you a freak, so after I suck your dick, you gonna kiss me? Hell no, I ain't doing it. You're not a freak then. Fuck out my face, bitch. Like, fuck out my face.
If you are so close. Right. And see, what's interesting when a person, especially someone who is not super familiar with the BDSM world or anything outside of just, regular sex, or, what most people would deem as regular sex, is once they take this test, because this, especially if you take the long version of the test, right? The test asks you some really kind of crazy ass questions because it goes through all these different kinks that could have. Now, mind you, the BDSM world is extremely broad, and the kinks that they kind of go through in this test are not the only kinks out there. So, keep that in mind. But it's very interesting to see their mindset with it. And see where a lot of these things kind of fall on the list for them, right? And then also, my favorite thing is their reaction to the test, which lets me know how open you are to what possibly could happen. Because see, she, me, her, for the right person is 100% with the shits, which means, baby, the day I find my husband, you hear me?
The day your husband finds you.
Thank you. The day my husband finds me, the amount of hoe that I am going to be.
Okay, period.
You feel me?
It's going to be ridiculous.
I am going to be the biggest hoe slut. I don't give a fuck
what just be a smut. It's gonna be a whole smut. I'm gonna be a whole.
The whole fucking like my dream is to be able to build a house with my husband where there's a dungeon in the house, and we can only get in with with our handprint, some goddamn and secret agent type entrance or some shit. I know it's like extra.
We were just talking about having a sex room. Like we were talking about our house plans, and the sex room is definitely in the plan.
Baby, and I want all the shit. I want the St. Andrew's cross. I want straps on the bed. I want shit to hang from the fucking ceiling. Bitch, I want all the goddamn toys. I want all the floggers and the crops and bitch, give me everything. Like for my husband, baby, I will be the literal definition of she's a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets. Because, baby, when I tell you, ain't gonna be shit outside of bring somebody into our bedroom. Because, baby, that's just a line. I ain't that. She ain't that. Okay,
she is, but I have limitations.
She is. I ain't. Let's see, I got a competition issue inside my head, and then two, I'm very stingy. I don't like to share, and I'm liable to snatch her wig. So let's just not do that. Let's just not have to go to jail tonight. You know what I'm saying? We just probably shouldn't do it. But I know this about myself. I know this about me. So he will already know that we ain't with that shit. Now we with a lot of shit, but that ain't the shit we with. But like, ultimately, it's the freedom to experiment and try and have fun and not be judged because I want to try and have some fun. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So baby, future husband, if you just so happen to be listening to this, take your vitamins, drink your water, and stretch, baby. Because
okay. I'm finna slut you out, baby.
Okay. And she already be on demon time anytime her eyes open. Okay, play whatever you want to.
The second I open my eyes to take my first breath, Mortal Kombat plays in my head. Round one.
Let's go.
Fight. We go fight. We gotta go.
Right.
And all I hear is finish him. And that's it. And then we go again. Because it's time to start over. We go again.
So I know we just went 100% left on this conversation.
That's
it
so
happens.
Funny.
That tends to happen.
Yeah. But so I think we're at a good spot before, because we will keep going and going and going. And so I have to try and be mindful. But so we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up right here. I want to give everyone a chance to, give your information, let them know where they can find you, what you have going on. So we'll start with Nay.
It's Nay Boogie with the hoodie on TikTok. And Nay Boogie 88 on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. There will be beauty stuff coming in the future, as well as a YouTube channel. And now, you know what? Maybe that Fans of the Only might really be coming. You never know. Y'all just gotta
hold on and see what the fuck happens.
Tight.
All right. Or
well, once again, I am Aura Art. You can find me on IG at art_aura, and that's AART_AURA. I'm also, spreading my wings in the sex work world, and I am expanding into education in sexual reproduction. I'm working with a doula collective known as Goddess Birth Sisters, and essentially we want to educate the hood on how fertility works and how we can be more mindful of our sexual excursions and really prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically for childbirth instead of just throwing ourselves in it.
You know what? We ain't gonna get into it, but especially after some more recent shit, that is extremely important. And especially with, just a quick note with that is something, because I have not had a child yet, but I have seriously been considering having a doula as a Black woman at 37, because let's go ahead on and be honest, medical field ain't necessarily too nice to Black women to begin with. At 37, I'm already considered high risk. And then, your girl is a plush pal. So that adds even more high risk numbers to it. You know what I'm saying? But I want someone in there that can help advocate for me in those moments where I can't, because I don't know what that pain is going to be like and whether or not I can focus. And I really would prefer someone in there who's going to truly advocate for me. Whereas I ain't trusting no nurses and no doctors. I don't give a damn if you do look like me, because some of y'all like, I side eye some of y'all too.
Yeah, I feel like
you know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. So definitely, as that comes about for you, please share with us, and I will be more than happy to share across all my platforms as well. And as y'all know, it's your girl Irene, the Passion Queen. You can find me across all social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. As such, make sure y'all hit up the Queendomme, TheQueenDomme.com to get your copy of Vacation, as well as Vacation merch. And if you would like to shop my Pure Romance, you can go through there as well. We definitely have some more stuff coming that is going to be sold on the website. We got the Exotica Expo coming up in July. The weekend of July 15th, I will be there. So catch me while you can. We're going to be in Miami, baby, where it's nice and hot and buns out, okay? Because if you ain't been to Miami during the summer, let me tell you, you don't know what the fuck you're missing. But I appreciate you so much, Aura, for coming through. Nay, as always, I love having you. We definitely gonna have to run this back and do this again, because this was some great conversation. I feel like people are gonna have more questions. So make sure you follow everybody, guys. And I'll talk to y'all next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace.